We just returned from our annual couples getaway, and this time we stayed at the most stunning oceanfront hotel in Los Cabos, Mexico. Of course, we booked it on points, and we are sharing all the things today, so let's dive in. Hi, I'm Rhea.
And I'm Dwayne.
And we are your hosts of the Travel Party of Five podcast, where we share how we travel as a family of five around the world.
We will also share how we use points and miles to travel as affordably as possible and sometimes even completely free.
So if you're wanting to travel more with your family, but you're not sure how, we'd love for you to listen in.
So welcome to our podcast, where we hope you learn a thing or two to get you closer to your next trip.
Hey friends, before we dive into today's episode, wanted to give a quick heads up that if you had previously signed up on the wait list to be notified when one-on-one coaching sessions or point strategy sessions, whatever you want to call them, when they go live, you should have gotten an email from me this past weekend. If you're listening to this, the day that it airs, letting you know that the sessions will officially be launching on Tuesday, August 5th. I will send out another email the morning of August 5th if you are on the wait list. If you are not on the wait list and you're listening to this on Monday, August 4th, I will put a link in the show notes so that you can join, because you do get a $50 discount if you are on the wait list. So check that out, and let's dive into today's episode.
Welcome back.
Hello, friends.
Thanks for tuning in.
So sorry about our little delay last week. We had no episode, and I felt sad about it all week, actually. So apologies. That was not a planned thing, but Dwayne and I were in a fight. So
yes, life happens, and
we also had kids starting back to school, and it's just been the last few weeks have been very busy. So,
yeah.
But we are going to share all the details of our stay at the Cape. And I don't know, where should we start? Actually, I know exactly where to start, because there's a little funny story about part of the reason why I booked this stay for us. And essentially, I thought we were gifted some Hyatt points that just magically appeared in our account. And so I used them. And okay, so this probably at the beginning of the year, I noticed that our Hyatt points balance was significantly higher than it had been. So we had like around 90,000-ish Hyatt points had like magically appeared in my Hyatt account. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And I looked at all of our upcoming reservations, and they were all still there. And the amount was like not a standard amount, right? Like it wasn't like 105,000 points, or it wasn't a flat amount. It was random, like 91,272 or something like that. And so I told Dwayne this, and then I started Googling and Redditing, and like I found a few people who were like, yeah, that has happened to me once or twice before. And like, it just happens. It's kind of like a glitch or an error. And I was like, I'm certainly not going to turn down free Hyatt points. So I'm definitely not going to call and bring it to anyone's attention. Like, I'm just going to book something before they try to take them back. Okay. So that's what I did. I booked this stay. So we stayed for 3 nights, and it was 105,000 points total. So 35,000 points a night. The Cape is a Thompson Hotel, and which is under the Hyatt brand, and it is a Category 7. Okay, so then fast forward to maybe like a month ago, I'm looking at one of our stays for Japan, which is the Hyatt Centric Ginza in Tokyo, and I realize that it says I booked like a suite using points plus cash, which if you're familiar with Hyatt, that is like a really terrible use of your points, because it's always a lot of cash and still like a decent amount of points, and I would never book that way. But what I had done was I had called to apply a suite upgrade award to our reservation, again, at the beginning of the year. And this was probably about a month before I noticed we had these extra points. So I didn't relate the two together. And so then I realized, like, instead of applying the suite upgrade award, they changed my reservation to a points plus cash booking and booked me in a suite, but didn't take my award. So now I'm in a panic because we have this stay coming up in a couple months and there's no points availability at all at this property. So I call the Globalist line and I basically say like, hey, I just noticed that when I called to apply this suite upgrade award, instead, my reservation was changed, and it was changed from a straight points booking to a points plus cash. And I mean, it was like expecting me to pay several $1,000s upon check-in. And I was like, absolutely not. Are we doing that? No way. And so it took some back and forth. I did have to call the Globalist line twice. They opened a ticket. They basically had to get the hotel to like reopen the availability. And the reason I had to call a second time is because I was like, hey, like I called about this 2 weeks ago and it hasn't been fixed. And the woman was like, I see the ticket, but there's just no points in your account. And I had kind of been secretly hoping they would just like rebook it without making me transfer more points, but they didn't. So I had to transfer more Chase points over to Hyatt so that then they could complete the correct booking, which was points plus a suite upgrade award and no cash. So that was how we ended up on this trip to Cabo. I thought it was like a gift from the universe. I told Dwayne, like, the universe wants us to have extra Hyatt points. Nope, that wasn't it. They were our Hyatt points that were incorrectly given back to us. So
yes, but I'm thankful that happened because
I mean, it was a stunning property.
Beautiful, beautiful property.
Dwayne said this rivals the Seabird for him. For me, not so much, but
it's top for me. It's by far the top.
So we went for 3 nights. The original plan was to do 3 nights at the Cape and 1 night at the Waldorf Astoria Los Pedregal, and use a free night certificate. However, originally this trip was supposed to happen in May. We lost our childcare and had to basically postpone it. And so when we went on the trip, the Waldorf is currently closed for renovations. So we were not able to do 1 night there. So hopefully we can go back and maybe do 2 nights there at some point.
We'll definitely be back.
So this ended up being 3 nights. We went a Wednesday through a Saturday, and we flew over on American Airlines. We did not use points for these flights. We paid cash. And it was around $500 a person round trip, which is not a steal by any means, but I'm hoarding our AA miles for something else. And also the AA miles, they weren't good. It was like, when I looked a few times, it was like 40,000 points round trip. And I was like, that's not a great cents per point. And like, I can do so many more things with those AA miles. So we paid cash. The bright side was in postponing the trip from May to July, it was actually a little cheaper than the original airfare I booked because it was around like $600 a person. So we each still have around $100, $120-ish on AA credit. Flight was fine. It's a nonstop flight. It's roughly 2 hours from Phoenix to Cabo, so it is super quick. And it was so part of the other reason I was okay to pay cash is I'm working on getting AA status. And I currently have American Airlines Gold, and the next stop is Platinum, which I for sure will get to Platinum. I don't know if I'll get to the next one after that, but I checked beforehand and there were absolutely no upgrades available. Like business class was completely full. But when we were at the gate, it was the first time I've ever even seen my name on the upgrade list. Dwayne and I were 10 and 11, if you're wondering. We clearly
did not get upgraded.
But we're working our way up there, slowly but surely.
Yes, it was a short flight, so it didn't bother me any.
It was totally fine. I had booked a private transfer from the airport to our hotel. I mainly just didn't want to deal with all the chaos and finding the taxi and all of that.
First of all, it's chaotic at that airport.
Yeah.
As soon as you come out of customs, it's a party. Like
everyone is trying to talk to you.
Freaking bars.
And it's all outside.
Yeah.
For the most part.
it was a party at the airport. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It was our first time there, obviously.
People were walking around with drinks. Like, it was pretty funny. I booked our transfer through Viator, and I used a company called Cabo Airport Shuttle. It was super easy. It was $143 round trip for the two of us. I kind of think that that's the price it would have been, even if there had been like 3 or 4 of us. I could be wrong, but there was definitely more room in the car. It was a private transfer, so it was just Dwayne and I in the car. And we went through immigration and went out to like kind of like the main waiting area. That's where they have like a bar and the music, and there's hundreds of people milling around. And we basically just had to wait by number 5. There's little numbers, and I think depending on who you book with, they each have their own spot. And so we had to wait at number 5. We probably waited, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, not too long.
It wasn't bad, but it was definitely hot.
I mean, there was hundreds of people out there. So.
Yeah. And like, probably before our car even got there, the same company had 5 or 6 other pickups ahead of us.
Yeah.
So they definitely do a good volume every day. And we got in the car. What was that like?
Oh, it was great. As soon as we got in, the driver offered me some beer, offered you some water, and I thought this is going to be fun.
Well, I mean, he offered both of us beer and water, but I didn't really drink much.
Yeah, it was like a 40-minute drive to the hotel, so I enjoyed 2 beers and, enjoyed the scenery.
Yeah, the super nice air conditioning. It's a big SUV. Dwayne, when we were waiting, he was like, maybe I'll grab a beer from the bar. And I was like, just wait, because I knew the driver had it in the car. So
I had no idea.
I just thought that would be a fun little surprise.
But, I mean, again, like I said, this airport was a party.
Yeah. So roughly 35, 40 minutes to the hotel, which was actually a little longer than I anticipated and made me feel a little more justified in the amount that it cost to do the private transfer. So,
I think it's totally worth it. Like,
yeah,
it would just been a headache to try and deal with. I mean, there were so many people out coming at you as soon as you came out of customs. Like, you need a taxi. Where are you going?
Yeah. And so also if you were traveling with kids, you could also coordinate to have car seats and whatever in the car for you as well, because that was an option when I was booking. So okay, we got to the hotel. Let me first tell you. So again, we booked 3 nights, 35,000 points a night, and I booked a standard room, and then I applied a suite upgrade award. So the cost for 3 nights for the standard room for our dates was $2,055 US dollars, but the cost for the suite was $3,133. So a little over $3,000 value that we paid $0 for. But
$1,000 a night.
Yeah, but we spent a lot of money on this trip still, and we'll talk about that and share exact numbers at the end. But okay, so knowing those costs and kind of the points cost, now share first impressions of the hotel.
A beautiful, beautiful hotel. One of my favorites thus far. Open air lobby. Beautiful property.
Stunning ocean views from the second you walk up. So the property is gated.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a property in Maui or Kauai, actually.
The property is gated, so in order to get in, you have to talk to the gate and explain why you're there. So we had to do that every time we returned, and when we left, if we took an Uber, which is how we got around, we had to let them know, hey, this is our Uber driver coming, and this is his license plate or car or whatever. So definitely very secure if that's something you're concerned about. As a kind of random side note, the week that we went to Cabo, Kelsey Graves, who does the podcast Trip Tales, which as a side note, I'm a big fan of. It is not a Points and Miles podcast, but it is just like a travel podcast. And I actually discovered it when she reached out to me and asked me if I would be on an episode about the Kimpton Sea Fire. And so I did that. That was a few months back. But I really...
Another favorite of mine.
Yeah. I really like her podcast because she does a little bit of points, but it's not a points podcast. It is fully like destination based, and I love getting different trip ideas from her podcast. One of the ones that I really is like memorable to me is she did one about where these two families like rented a it's not a yacht. What's the other word for like a boat like the one we took in Kauai? What is that? A catamaran. They rented a catamaran and kind of sailed around the St. John Islands for a week and had their own like chef and kind of captain and all that. And it was an expensive trip, but it sounded incredible. So anyways, I like her podcast. If you are looking for kind of a general travel podcast, would highly recommend it. This is not sponsored in any way. I only bring it up because she and her husband went to Cabo and their episode came out literally 2 days before we left to go to the same property. So I got to listen to her episode and kind of hear all the tips and tricks that she learned from her stay and then apply them to our stay. So that was good timing, I think.
Yeah.
But okay, so we walk in, open air lobby, ocean views. Like the property is beautiful. Service was great.
So beautiful that your favorite magazine ranked them.
Yes. When we got home in the mail, my favorite guilty pleasure is Travel and Leisure magazine. Comes once a month. And this month's episode was like the best of awards. And so here, let me grab it.
And I mean, we've been to some pretty nice places, and I'm surprised they're not on this list, but this one definitely made the list.
Yes.
And the category was...
It's actually listed in 2 categories. So the first one is the 100 best hotels overall.
Overall, best hotels.
In the world.
Yeah, in the world. And it's number 22.
It's tied for 22 with the hotel in Kuala Lumpur. But yes, 22.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It is also listed under 25 best resorts in Mexico.
And it is number 3 in Mexico.
Yep.
So that says a lot.
For context, the Waldorf Astoria Los Cabos Pedregal is number 7.
I don't even know if I want to go there anymore.
Well, everything that I read about the two basically was like the Cabo or the Cape is more of a party vibe, but the Waldorf is like true like luxury, right? And like basically saying like there's no comparison, but we loved this hotel a lot. So
it was a party hotel though.
It was, I mean,
and again, we were there kid free.
Yeah, I would not bring kids to this property.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's another reason why don't get me wrong, I love my kids, but when we go on a trip without them, it's just truly relaxing, and we didn't have anything planned.
Yeah, we made
we did whatever we wanted to do.
Yeah,
and it was great.
It was great. So I did not send an email to this property ahead of time like I normally do, but they did send me a text maybe a week before. And so I did and they kind of asked a few questions like, are you celebrating anything? Like, who is your travel companion? Like those sorts of things. So I said, oh, we're just kind of celebrating our anniversary, which is true, but our anniversary is in February. That's the point of our annual trip.
Yes, and we always do it a couple months after.
Yeah. And, I just said my travel companion is my husband and his name is Dwayne and blah, blah. But I didn't ask for an upgrade or anything. We already had what I think was the best. Not the best, but one of the best suites on the property. There was a much bigger one that we could see from our balcony. But so I didn't do a big to-do before we got there. But in our room was still bottle of tequila and some little what are those gummies?
Yeah, some kind of gummy candy with tahine on it.
Is it chamoy flavor?
Oh yeah, maybe? Probably. But you said there was a bigger one. I think those were the residents though, weren't they? You can't. I mean, you can book those, but
yeah, I don't think you can book those ones with points.
And I remember Rhea telling me before we went on this trip that she used a suite upgrade for this trip, and I thought, why would you waste it?
Well, you didn't think it. You said it.
Well, I mean, I said it. Why would you waste, a suite upgrade on a trip that's just going to be me and you?
Yeah.
But so glad you did, because it was the best room that we've ever stayed in. I know you like the oceanside one, but I think this one
was very nice. And when you asked me that, I was like, well, they expire, so
Yes,
we have
so
to use them. And
I get it now. But.
yeah. So, yes, that is okay. So, so we got there and they had the tequila and a nice letter, printed letter with our names, dear Rhea and Dwayne, like, thank you for visiting, blah, blah, blah. But then later in the day, the same day, they also brought
a bottle of champagne.
Yep.
And some chocolate covered strawberries.
Yes.
I mean, this property was fantastic.
Yeah, the service was 11 out of 10. It was so good.
So good.
Dwayne made a few buddies at the pool with the employees.
Yes. Matter of fact, I just wrote a review for them.
Yeah.
And it might be my first TripAdvisor review ever. I mean, it is. That's how great this property was. I was like, I want to do a review.
Well, we of course tipped, but Dwayne also was asking, like, I think you asked, like, how else can we, like, let them know you're...
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, you probably get sent a survey and just, use names.
Yeah, they said use names.
Yeah.
And so
I got their names. Shout out to Gustavo and Luis at the pool there.
Yeah.
They'll take care of you.
Yes. So, okay. So we've arrived. If you want to see this property and the suite that we had, I have a full Cabo highlight on our Instagram page. And I have uploaded, I think, 2 of our 3 days, and I got to do the other day today. So by the time this episode airs, it will be a full and complete highlight, so you can go and see the suite and all that fun stuff. One cool thing about the room is that they have binoculars in there, which at first I was kind of like, that's a little creepy, but...
I mean, because we're oceanside, like...
Yeah, you're literally, I mean, you're right. Like, I've never stayed at a property closer to the ocean than this was.
Yeah.
And so you use the binoculars to, like, look at the surfers. There's always surfers out front. The waves are very intense.
Yeah.
So, like, I would not swim in this water. There's always, like, the red flags, and it's generally never, I think, safe for swimming directly from the hotel.
Our kids would not have gone in this water.
And it wasn't even the size of the waves, which they were big. I mean, big. There were surfers every day, so big enough to surf. But it was the pull of the current when the water would go out. Like, I mean, we're full adults, and it was, like, hard for us to stay.
And it was a bit rocky there, too. Water and beach was still beautiful, but you can see in the water that there was rocks. Like, we were like, how are these surfers not hitting these rocks? But
our kids would have been sucked out to the ocean.
Yeah.
For sure. So keep that in mind if you are bringing kids there. We did see a few kids. The pool is just not very big. It's an infinity pool, and, like, the tiniest splash, like, causes water to go over the edge, and, like, our kids would be wanting to jump in, and they wouldn't be able to do that, and it would be very disruptive. It's just not a kid. It's not a kid.
Definitely
hotel.
not a kid. There were a couple kids there, but I mean, our kids would have.
They were, like, pretty good,
Yeah.
and
security would have been called.
Our kids would have not been that good.
Again, this pool, very nice, infinity, had a sit-up bar or walk-up bar.
Swim-up bar.
Swim-up bar.
Yeah.
I thought they had enough seats. There's actually two. They actually had 2 pools. One was they both were infinities. One was a saltwater pool. And then the bigger one, the main one was
kind of an infinity pool.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a true one.
Yeah.
And then there was a hot tub, too.
Yeah.
It was incredibly hot when we were there, so we did not venture in the hot tub. But you have stunning views of, like, the coast and Cabo. I've been to like Cancun and Playa del Carmen, and we've been to Rocky Point. If you're in Phoenix, that's where everyone drives down to. Not a fan of Rocky Point, as a side note, but
I don't think I'll ever go back to Rocky Point.
I have no desire to. But we know people that love it. If that's your thing, more power to you. But Cabo was so interesting because it was like this weird juxtaposition of the desert, right? It's like all cactus and, like, desert, and then the ocean. And I don't think I've ever seen an area like that before. It was I don't know, it was interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, on the drive from the airport, I mean, there were some poor places.
Yes, there was.
Which felt really bad, but
yes.
it is what it is. I mean, that's just, and these people work hard, and we made sure to tip whenever we could.
Yes, we did.
I mean, the staff here was outstanding.
Yeah.
Top notch, for sure.
Zero complaints about the property itself. The other thing I'll say is I don't think there's a bad room at this hotel. Even if you have the standard room, it's still going to be oceanfront, and you're just going to have a smaller patio than we did.
Yeah, I mean, you were mentioning something about a partial ocean view. I didn't see any room that had a partial ocean view.
I agree. It was like it all seemed like full
all the
ocean
rooms
views.
face the ocean.
Okay, so we were there 3 nights. Anything else about the hotel that you think we need to talk about? We'll talk about the spa, but we can do that under like activities.
I mean, I can't say enough, great things about this, but I mean.
Okay, so let's move on to restaurants, and let's first do the restaurants in the hotel and then the ones we went to out of the hotel. I thought that the prices at the hotel were very high.
Very high.
Like, even higher than...
Willie Nelson high. Snoop Dogg high.
Oh, God. Even higher than, like, a traditional hotel in the U.S., which is also high, but this was higher than that. Although, something that I noticed was, like, the price that it said on the menu, when I calculated that to U.S. dollars, was roughly 25% higher than when the bill arrived, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure if the menu was printed and then like the value of the currency changed. Like, I don't know. But I will say that, like, I thought something was going to cost 12 US dollars, and when the bill came, it was 8-ish. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm not complaining about that.
But nothing on that menu cost $12 or $8.
No, that was like the guacamole or something. I don't know. But anyways, okay, so we ate at a few different places in the hotel.
Yes.
Let's do breakfast first. Okay, breakfast, you have 2 options. One is at the Sunken Boat, which is kind of like the lobby bar / coffee shop. So in the morning, at night it's a bar, in the morning it's like a coffee shop. And then they also have a pretty decent breakfast menu, not huge, but like a lot of options.
It's Mexico, so it's also a bar in the morning.
Oh, yeah, true. And then the other option was the Ledge, which was like kind of like the more full service restaurant for breakfast. You can choose either as a globalist. I don't really know the prices because the menu that we were handed didn't have any prices on it. So if you eat at the Ledge, you can basically choose from one kind of hot entree, and they had, like some egg dishes, some French toast, that sort of thing. And then you also get access to like their buffet. And I'm putting that in air quotes because it's not like a full buffet, but they did have a lot of things. There was like granola and salad and fruit plates and a few little like tostada type things.
Which they made the tortillas right there in front of you.
Yeah, so that was good. We ate there the first day. And then the Sunken Boat had a more shortened menu, and that was like a breakfast burrito. And then you could also get your choice of like coffee, juice, different pastries, fruit, and all that was included for globalists as well. If you didn't want to eat at the property, you could easily grab an Uber into Los Cabos and probably find something cheaper in town for breakfast. But we have status, and so we didn't pay for the breakfast at all. So that's obviously where we chose to eat.
Food was really good.
Yes, it was really good. For lunch at the property, I think your only option is really the pool.
We only had lunch at the pool, and then we went off property one day.
The food at the pool was also very good. We had chips and guacamole. We had the spicy tuna roll was one of the best I've ever had in my life.
Fantastic. So good that we had to order it right before we left.
Yeah, we ordered it a second day. It was like $40 though. I want to be transparent about that. It was $40 US for one spicy tuna roll. So yes, it was very good. But, I mean, that's expensive. Like, the food here was so expensive.
Yeah. The day we left, we ordered 2.
It was $80. But it was really good.
So good.
Sometimes it's just the downfall of using points is you kind of get in this mindset of like, we didn't pay anything
the
for
room's
this
free, so let's
hotel,
spend it somewhere
so
else.
let's just like throw all caution to the wind.
And we did.
Well, we did eat at some very nice restaurants that we just don't get the opportunity to do when we travel with the kids. I mean, we do take them sometimes to like fancy restaurants, but it's not as often as Dwayne and I would if we were by ourselves. So, dinner at the property, we ate at Manta. That is like the fancy schmancy restaurant.
Michelin-starred restaurant.
It is a Michelin star. It was very good, except for one thing.
Of course, the one thing that I got. It's Korean fried chicken.
Yeah.
Which, it's my own fault for getting that in Mexico.
The lesson we learned was get the seafood.
All the seafood we had on this trip was...
like, maybe best I've ever had.
So fresh, tasty. It was the best.
We got some ceviche at Manta. That was 10 out of 10. I also got fish tacos at Manta. They were also delicious. They brought out a bunch of different little sauces, and the server who was very good, was like, I would recommend this green salsa with the fish tacos. And he was right. It was like 11 out of 10. So good. He also brought out, I think he brought out 3 or 4 initially, and you were trying the spiciest one. And he was like, oh, that's a lot.
Little did he know I already had some prior to that. And I was like, no, I'll be fine.
Dwayne likes really spicy things and can handle a lot of spice. So once he saw Dwayne comfortably eating that, then he brought out something that he called black tears.
Black tears.
And he was like, if you like spicy, try this. How was it?
It was hot and it was good.
Your nose was sweating.
It was hot.
Yeah.
But I didn't back down.
No, you ate a good amount of it. Yeah. I think he was impressed by you.
I mean, I wish it was available at breakfast. I would have thrown that on my eggs. Yeah.
Not I. Nope. Dwayne was like, do you want to try it? And I'm like, nope, absolutely not. I do not. So yeah, everything was 10 out of 10. They even brought out this like complimentary appetizer. It was like chicharrones with like avocado puree and a few different sauces. And even that was delicious.
It was so good.
So it was expensive. Ironically, it was not our most expensive dinner. It was actually our cheapest dinner. But it was very good. So if you're looking for kind of
just don't get the Korean fried chicken.
Stick with the seafood, I'm telling you. And then the other option for dinner at the hotel, if you want a more casual vibe, is the rooftop. And that also has stunning views of the ocean, and you can see Los Cabos, and it's beautiful. We only had a drink there, so. Actually, I had a mocktail, actually, and Dwayne had like a whiskey
espresso martini.
Oh, yeah, espresso yeah.
Which was great.
Yeah, but the views up there are beautiful. And they also do have a food menu if you're wanting to eat on property but not wanting to spend the amount that it costs to eat at Manta. And at Manta we also had a dessert, the mango sticky rice, and that was good. I just wanted it to be sweeter. I wanted it to,
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad.
It was fine. Okay, other restaurants that we ate at outside of the hotel.
We went to a place called Harry's Steakhouse.
Yes, this was our least favorite.
Least favorite. And you'll be surprised what the worst thing at this place was. First of all, it was a steakhouse.
Yes.
Everything was great except for the steaks.
The steaks were not good. And they were like $70 a piece.
Expensive.
So that was disappointing. The service was great.
Service excellent. Location excellent. Steaks not so excellent.
They bring out like a little, what are those things called? A sterno thing.
Oh, yeah.
And they have like rosemary and some other like herbs and stuff in it, and they light it, and it's to keep the bugs away.
Yeah. It was a nice touch.
It was a nice touch. And then at the end, thank God someone told us about this beforehand because we didn't know.
Yeah, one of the concierge.
Yes. He said, if you go to Harry's, don't order dessert because they're going to bring you out this giant thing of cotton candy.
And it was giant.
It was bigger than my torso. It was huge.
It was huge.
And so we did not order dessert, and they did bring us cotton candy, and it was really fun. It was great. We couldn't eat it all, but it was fun.
But really disappointing because, you know, we love a good steak. And I mean, I got the ribeye, you got the filet.
Yeah.
The filet mignon, and it was...
Dwayne was like, the steaks that we make from Costco are better than this. And he was right.
Shout out to Costco. I love you.
It was... It's true. So that was disappointing. The corn was the best thing we ate, actually.
The corn was the best.
It was like a truffle creamed corn. That was the best thing.
I told her if we go back, I'm just going to get the corn.
We wouldn't go back there. That dinner cost $300 total. So then our third dinner was at a restaurant called Cocina del Mar.
Fantastic.
Yes. This one is in another hotel. It's in the L'Auberge? Auberge? I don't know. It's like 7 minutes away from the Cape. And you're seated like kind of on the rocks overlooking the ocean again.
Right on the ocean.
The service was fantastic. Definitely get the seafood. Property. I got the snapper. Dwayne got, what did you get?
I don't know. Mine was the least favorite again. It was good. Just, it was the least favorite of that entire dinner.
But the appetizer that we got was the tuna.
Oh my God, the blue tuna crudo.
Bluefin tuna, yeah.
Bluefin tuna crudo. And it was probably the best seafood dish I've ever had.
Yes.
I mean, the tuna like melted in your mouth. It was so good.
It was very good. And
so good.
We also had some, what else did we get?
We got the seafood fondue,
yes.
which sounds disgusting.
It was good.
It was really good.
It was served with cornbread.
It was served with cornbread. There was like squid in it, shrimp.
It was good.
Seafood like concoction. Like I said, seafood fondue. I was like, what the F is that? But
it was like a creamy seafood dip.
It was good.
And yes, I got the red snapper, which does come as a whole fish, as a side note. And yeah, this was your dish that you got. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah,
it was like a smoky dish with like fish.
I think it was not mahi. I don't remember what fish it was.
Snook.
Snook, yes, white.
Yeah.
Fish, snook. It was a catch of the day.
And then we got some mashed potatoes, and then for dessert we got a pistachio souffle, which was also very good.
So freaking good.
They like drizzled caramel in it. It was really good. This is the restaurant where Dwayne ordered a glass of Cabernet, and when the bill came, I realized that the glass of wine was $40.
$40.
And I was like, you didn't look at this?
First of all, before we got there, she was showing me one of her Instagram. Someone you followed on Instagram that was just there.
It was a Yelp review.
Oh, Yelp review. Sorry. Yeah. And it was just her and I think her partner. And they spent like $495 for just the two of them. Yeah. And I thought, we can beat that.
And I said, we better not.
Yes. But we did get close.
It was close to $400.
It was like $393 for the two of us.
Yeah, so...
But, I mean, you're almost paying for the view there. I mean, it was spectacular.
It was really beautiful, super romantic. Like, definitely would go there again, for
Service was excellent.
Yes. I mean, at the end, I'm going to share our total, like, expenses for this trip, but it was more than I wanted it to be.
A lot. But, like, I mean, when we don't have the kids, we just freely do whatever it is we please. And, it's, you know, someone told me the other day, I think it was my dentist or something. It's like, yeah, when you take the kids, it's a trip. When you don't have the kids, it's a vacation. And yeah. It's so true.
Yeah. Okay, so those are all the places we ate. And as far as activities go, in full disclosure, we didn't do much. I didn't plan or book anything. We only had 2 full days. I didn't want it to feel rushed or anything like that. We were going to book a snorkeling trip, but
it was booked.
It was already booked. So if that's super important to you, it goes out to the arch and you get to snorkel and whatever. If that's super important to you, make sure you're booking like at least a week in advance. It was not super important to us, so we were okay skipping it.
The trips we take when it's just us, we just go with the flow.
Yes. However, we did decide to go to the spa because Dwayne's buddy that he met at the pool,
Luis,
gave us a discount.
Muchas gracias.
So he gave us a 25% discount at the spa.
Which I'm sure he gives it to everybody, but he's like, I will hook you up, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, who
Thank
knows?
you, thank
But
you.
we did get the discount. I looked at it on the bill. So we did a couples massage,
80-minute.
80-minute couples massage, which was fantastic. And we got to enjoy, the spa beforehand. So there is like traditionally sauna, steam room, hot tub, cold plunge.
Had a cold plunge, yes.
We did all the things. The cold plunge was very cold. I could only go in for a minute max. I timed myself. But like you are in the spa and you are looking at the ocean. Like it's definitely the most beautiful spa view I've ever had. So
They even have massage beds like on the beach
yeah.
that you can book.
Yeah, that like
But it was too hot for that.
I don't see how that would be fun because it was very hot and humid, so that doesn't sound enjoyable to me. But there were people doing that, so I mean I guess maybe there's something to it. Massage was great. Super relaxing. And yeah, that's literally the only thing we did the whole day. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not true. That's not true. We also
ventured out into Los Cabos.
Yes. One day.
Yeah, it's like the little beachy town they have there. We went to a place called Mango Deck.
Yes. Another really popular bar is called The Office, and Mango Deck is right next door to The Office. We went early. We got there at 10:30, I think. And we got a table right in the sand.
If you go there, you can go to the beach and...
Yeah, they have a cordoned off area where you can swim. It's cordoned off because there's an area right next to it where tours are picking people up.
And jet skis and all that stuff. Beautiful, beautiful beach, though.
The water was super clear.
Water was perfect.
Much calmer than the water by the hotel, but still a pretty strong current. So we got a table and we ordered a drink, and then basically you can just put your stuff at this table and go get
swim,
in the water.
Yeah, go swim on the beach.
We brought towels from the hotel. So we got a drink, went for a swim, came back, ordered some lunch, and we kind of hung out until it started to get busy, and then we left around maybe 1:00.
Yeah, they started the DJ was hooking up. There was a break dance show.
Yeah, and I was like, that's our cue to leave.
Yeah. But it's a good thing we went when we did, because the next day, that same beach, cruise ships had docked.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what that town looked like when the cruise ships were
Yeah,
there.
because it was pretty sleepy the day we were
yeah,
there.
I mean,
there was not a lot of people.
Not a lot of people at all, which I thought was perfect.
Yes.
We had the beach to ourselves at one point.
We were the only people swimming in the area the
yeah.
restaurant had marked off. Literally the only two people. So that was really nice. Over the course of the next 2 days, though, I think we saw 4 different cruise ships come and go.
3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay, 3.
3.
So I guess if you don't like crowds, I would pay attention to the cruise ship schedule. Another thing to note is there are 2 different towns that make up Cabo. There is Los Cabos, which is the little town we went to where the Mango Deck is.
Party town.
Yes. And then there's also San Jose del Cabo, which is the other direction.
The more traditional
And yeah,
artsy.
that's quieter. They have an art walk. It was about 35 minutes away, though.
Yeah,
from
we didn't
the
make
Cape.
it out there.
We didn't make it there this time. Another thing that you can do is people go to La Paz, but that's a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
And that's another super beautiful beach. And we did not go there either, obviously. And then there were 2 beaches that were the opposite direction from Los Cabos that the concierge recommended. They were called Chileno.
Yes, and Santa Maria? Santa Monica? Something like that.
No, it started with an M. Medano Beach.
Oh.
Yeah. So we went to the concierge and I said, hey, we want to go to Lovers Beach and Divorce Beach because I had read that those are 2 really beautiful beaches. And he was kind of like, well, why do you want to go there? And I'm like, I don't know. I just heard they were nice.
He had a look on his face
And he was like, well, the only way to get there is by boat. And what else did he say?
He said, and, you got to get there by boat. They drop you off, and then they don't come pick you up for, a couple hours.
Yeah.
So you're, stuck there.
Yeah, and there's nothing there. There's, no facilities there.
Yeah. So you're just really there just to hang out on the beach and swim. And
you have to, bring your own food and stuff like that. And
I'm glad he told us.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, that actually doesn't sound very fun to me. Yeah. So he was like, I recommend these other 2 beaches. One was Medano Beach. The other one is Chileno Beach. Again, no like food or anything at either one of those either. So you would still want to pack like a picnic, but I think quieter, and you can drive there or Uber there. So there is a grocery store called The Fresco, almost not across the street, but within like a 2-minute drive from the hotel.
And there's also a Costco.
Shout out to Costco. Dwayne wanted to go there, but we didn't. So much. Another thing to note is like when you leave the Cape, if you are going right, you're fine, but you cannot go left. And so basically you have to go right no matter what and eventually make a U-turn, but it's kind of like you have to go 5 or 6 minutes before you get to make the U-turn. So when we wanted to go into Los Cabos, the driver went right, and I was telling Dwayne, like, we're going the wrong way. And, like, Dwayne is a man who has never had to think about safety or security in his entire life, right? But it is programmed in me because I am a female raised in America, okay? So I am immediately thinking this Uber driver is taking us in the wrong direction. So I say to Dwayne, we're going the wrong way. And he's like, we're going the wrong way because we have to make a U-turn. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, then it made sense. And I was like, yep, I'm tracking. But I think just as a heads up, if you are a female traveling alone, don't panic. There's just no way to make a left turn. Dwayne's like literally laughing at me right now, but that's your male privilege talking. Okay? Yeah.
I just knew we had to make a U-turn. Like, it's because I'm
directionally aware.
I mean, yes, that too, and aware of my surroundings.
Listen, I'm also aware of my surroundings. I don't have a good sense of direction, and I fully own that. That's fine. I have other strengths. So those are the activities that we did. Nothing crazy, and very relaxing, and no regrets about the fact that we didn't see a ton of Cabo. I definitely think we will go back at some point. I definitely want to stay at the Cape. Or I'm sorry. I definitely want to stay at the Waldorf. And then we can compare and contrast. But yeah, our flight back left on time pretty much. Oh, let's talk about the airport lounge. There is, if you have priority pass, there is a lounge in the Cabo airport that you can access. And in full disclosure, I kept telling Dwayne, don't get your hopes up. Like, I'm sure it's not that great. And
I kept saying it's probably going to be one of the nicest ones we've been to.
It was very nice in terms huge. Of like the ambiance and the seating and all that was very nice. The food was complete trash.
Yeah, food. I feel like the food at all these, except for a few, aren't very
the
good.
Capital One ones are good, and like the Chase one is okay, but yeah, the food was not. First of all, there was almost no food, and second of all, like it was what was there was not good. But it was free, and we had already spent a lot of money. So we got some souvenirs at the airport. We went into the lounge, and then we just kind of hung out until our flight left.
And don't get Starbucks at the airport.
Oh my God, it was so bad. I took 2 sips and threw it away.
Wasted it.
It was like literally disgusting and undrinkable. So, yeah.
Okay, what else? I mean, if you take anything away from this podcast today, just know that the Thompson or the Cape in Cabo is definitely worth it.
Yeah. So
and if you can, get the suite upgrade for sure.
Yeah, suite upgrades for Hyatt can be applied to a stay up to 7 days. So if you book like a longer stay, you can still use the suite upgrade. Okay, last but not least, clutch your pearls because I'm going to share the exact amount that we spent on this trip. It does include our flights, so keep that in mind. But in full transparency, this was a good $1,000 more than I wanted it to be. So it was $3,566.
Jesus.
So the way that breaks down, 30% of that is the flights. The flights were like roughly $1,000-ish. 39% was food. Again, like our 3 dinners alone were over $1,000. Like why do you think it's so expensive there? Like it's Mexico.
Like I said, we do what we want.
I mean, okay, so yes, like are there Are there ways to do this cheaper? 100% there are, because you don't have to go to a fancy dinner every night, right? Like, you definitely don't. But I just think that you should know, if you want to do that, this is what it costs. And holy moly. Like,
yes.
That's
I mean,
just crazy.
I just feel it's okay for us to splurge. It's our time to relax and do whatever it is we want. And, we did it this time.
I know.
And I mean, it was such a great trip, I thought.
It was. We had a great time. I will also say that this also includes the cost to board our dog, which was a couple $100s for the 3 nights. So that is factored in as well. If you don't have a pet, then congratulations. That dog's very expensive. He's a good boy, but he costs money.
And I mean, I would let my parents watch him, but my mom's not a big fan of hairy dogs.
He's like 80 pounds.
Yeah.
And your parents are like 80 years old.
Yeah.
And
they already have the 3 kids, which is more than enough.
Yeah, like it's not like they're gonna break a hip or something trying to take him for a walk.
And he has fun at the boarding place.
He plays with all his buddies and he has a great time. So flights were $1,080 on this trip. Restaurants it was $1,400 essentially, is what we spent on food for the 2 of us. The spa was close to $500, like $489. And then there was some other miscellaneous, like, the transportation. We did take, other than the private transfer to and from the airport, which, as a side note, I would absolutely recommend. They were incredibly prompt. They will pick you up 3 hours before your flight is scheduled to leave. You input like your flight information, so they watch it for you. So if it does get delayed, they know. And our flight left at 3 o'clock, I think, or 3:30. They picked us up right at 12, which is subsequently the same time as checkout. So that worked out perfectly. And
very easy process too.
They were incredibly, like, he was there at 12 o'clock on the dot.
Yep.
Like,
beer's ready to go for me.
Yeah, super prompt. And, we enjoyed chatting with him on the way back to the airport too. Yeah. And then the other things are just, tips. You bring cash for tips. They accept US dollars if that's what you want to do.
And I'm a great tipper. Ray is also a great tipper, but yes. I tend to tip.
Dwayne.
For everything.
Yes, he does. I tip well, but I don't tip for everything. Like, if I'm ordering a drink and you're turning that screen around to me asking for a tip, like, I'm probably not going to tip you. But, like, if we're eating at a restaurant, I'm 100% going to tip you 20%. So, yeah. Okay. Anyways, that is the budget. And I guess it would have been $2,500 was what I had in my head. And I guess if we had used points for the flights, it would have been closer to $2,500. So I guess that's something. But yeah, that is it. That wraps up our
Cabo in a nutshell. Hopefully that's helpful for you.
Yes. As always, come find me on Instagram if you have any questions. Always happy to chat over there. And one last reminder that if you are interested in booking a one-on-one kind of points strategy session, like, generally I think that's if you have the points and you're just not sure how to use them and need some help, that is going to go live. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, tomorrow, August 5th is when that will be available for booking. So make sure to check that out. I'll put a link in the show notes. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, we appreciate you.
See you next week. Bye.
Have a good one.